My dear students, welcome to EPG Pathashala. My name is G. Mahendra Reddy. I am working as Assistant Professor in Tourism at National Institute of Tourism and Hospitality Management. Now we are going to discuss about a paper on tourism in India and the module on culture and sustainable development. The objective of this particular module is to know what is culture and what is sustainable development, and what are the dimensions of cultural or in general sustainable development, and what are the principles of sustainable development, why culture is an important dimension of sustainable development, and what are the major roles that culture is playing for a sustainable development, and what is the contribution for a cultural sustainability or in general sustainable development in India, in fact in other countries. This module is somewhat relevant to the earlier module on sustainable tourism and responsible tourism, but there is a little difference that in earlier we have discussed in general sustainable development, but in this particular module we are going to discuss more about cultural sustainability or a culture role in a sustainable development. So since India is rich and one of the major form of cultural tourism which is having a potential for a promotion and development of Indian culture, so in this context culture and sustainable development is one of the major and emerging topic that we should understand in a contemporary world, and which is more relevant to the present situation and the generations. Now we'll discuss what is culture. There are different definitions for a culture. So basically there are many organizations and the institutes, the scholars has given different definitions on culture, but in general we follow the definition given by the World Commission on Culture and Development. According to them, the culture is a way of living together, and there is also other definition that is very popular and which was given by Universal Declaration on a Cultural Diversity, that is, culture is defined as the set of distinctive spiritual, material, intellectual and emotional features of a society or a social group or a community, and that encompasses, in addition to art and literature, lifestyle, way of living together, the traditional knowledge systems and beliefs. So that means in general culture consists of different forms of arts, crafts, fairs and festivals, the knowledge system, the religions. So all these together can make a culture of a particular community or a particular area or a particular group of people. India is very popular and very diverse for the different cultures, and these cultures generally we can study in different forms under the heading of the built culture, the material culture and living culture, and all these different forms are very rich in India. So generally built cultures are which was built by the humans or a particular community. So these are generally monuments, palaces, forts or religious buildings. The other form of culture is material culture, that is arts, artifacts, museum exhibits. So these are examples for a material heritage, and the living tradition is that, or a living culture is music, dance, fairs and festivals. Of course the religions are the examples for a living traditions, and all these three different forms of culture is very popular in India. Still we are continuing and may be continued in the future. So whatever the museums or artifacts or arts, the forts or palaces or music systems and the dance, of course the classical dances, these all are very rich, which are contributing for the development of society and the sustainable development. build culture, you can see these pictures to understand more easily that in this picture you can see the fort, palace and other buildings. The living traditions are living cultures. You can see that classical dances and classical music and the art forms like fairs and festivals. Nowadays these are very popular in India, like Batukamma, Bonalu, all these different forms you can see in these pictures. And other form is that music is one of the very oldest and having immense potential for the social development. And these are into different forms like Carnatic music, Hindustani music and folk music, again in a different forms of folk music in India that which are popular. As we mentioned, that third form is material heritage. The examples are the museums, like we have a national museums like Salarjung and Delhi National Museum, Calcutta Museum, and we have craft centers like Lepakshi, Shilparamam. So now we have discussed and we understood what is culture and what are the different forms of culture. And now we are going to discuss about sustainable development. What is the meaning of sustainable development and what are the different pillars or dimensions of sustainable development that we are going to discuss now. There are various definitions and different people have defined in a different ways on a sustainable development in that particular context where they are working in a particular area. So, but in general, we follow the definition which was given by the Brundtland report in our common future. So, according to the Brundtland report's definition, sustainable development is a development that meets the needs of the present generation without compromising the ability of the future generations to meet their own needs. So, this is the Brundtland report's definition, and the other definition is widely recognized and followed when it comes to the environmental context. That is IUCN's definition, International Union for a Conservation of Nature, which is working for the conservation and promotion of our nature. And according to IUCN, the definition follows like this: to improve the quality of life while living within the carrying capacity of a particular ecosystem. And sustainable development implies economic growth together with the protection of environmental quality, each reinforcing other activities. And it also requires the balance between the society and economic development and environmental development and conservation. In general, we can divide all these developments and societies, the cultures and environment, all the principles into a major areas or three different areas, that is three pillars, or generally it's called as a three dimensions of sustainable development. So that is economy, environment and society. In economic sustainability, it is generally generating of prosperity at a different levels of society, viability of enterprises and activities, and their ability to maintain the long-term sustainability of economy of that particular destination or a community or a countries. And social sustainability includes respect between the different communities. In tourism, the respect between the host and the guest, and respecting the human rights and equal opportunities for all the societies of different aged people, different social groups, different communities and religions. The third pillar or a dimension of sustainability is that the environmental sustainability. In environmental sustainability, any development that we are following, that we should consider the environment not simply for the present generation, for the future generations also. And as we know that the environment or the resources, the majority resources that we are having naturally, renewing all these natural resources is a difficult task. So if we follow some principles which we can conserve and use optimally the natural resources, then there will be a long-term growth for the development and betterment of the society. And delivering sustainable development means striking the balance between these economy, society and environmental of a country or a destination. So generally there are certain principles which they have suggested to follow in most of the development areas. So these general principles may be different from place to place, and majority of the principles that we can apply, and these principles generally outlined into 18 different principles of sustainable development, and generally these principles are related to protection of environment, related to the social development, that is generating peace between the communities and the cultures and nations, and providing equal opportunities when it comes to economic development, and reaching the benefits to all the different societies, and providing access for the different activities and the resources to the deprived and disabled people, and eliminating the major social issues that we are facing like poverty, gender equality and other issues, and empowering the children and women and the local communities on a major issues for the development. And it is whatever the principles that they have outlined are much relevant to sustainable development principles or sustainable development goals, even the Millennium Development Goals. We have discussed what is culture and what is sustainable development or sustainability. So now we'll discuss what is the relation between the sustainable development and the culture development, and the relation between culture and sustainability. So we have discussed all the three pillars of sustainable development, that is economy, environment and society. World not only facing economic or social environmental challenges, even we are lacking or facing problems in terms of creativity, knowledge, diversity and beauty, and these are the unavoidable basis for the dialogue for a peace and progress, as these values are intrinsically connected to human development and freedom. Promoting the indigenous knowledge and indigenous cultures, old traditions, and meeting the new creativity in every day in cities and around the world, contributing to the preservation of identity and diversity is become very challenging. Now you see the traditional industries or the technologies that we were using in India very much eco-friendly and culturally, economically sustainable for a long term. You see whatever the handicrafts or handlooms, the other traditional technology that we were using were very much relevant for economic development, and these are environmental friendly technologies and activities. But now, because of rapid development and industrialization, globalization, we are losing all these things and almost disappeared or vanished in most of the places. So there is a need, since culture, as we mentioned, it's a indigenous knowledge, innovation, creativity, these all are consist in a particular community or groups that we'll discuss. And culture is not only contributing for a economic development, and even a cultural development also is possible. Culture contributes to inclusive economic development as a cultural heritage or a culture and creative industries or a sustainable cultural tourism and development of cultural infrastructure are sources of income generation and employment for the communities who are living around those places, including at the community level, thus improving the living condition of a particular community and fostering the community-based economic growth and contribution to empowering the individuals and the communities, in fact, the women of that particular community. Culture is also contributing to inclusive social development for all the different areas and group of people, including the local communities and the indigenous people, with respect for a cultural diversity, safeguarding of the cultural and natural heritage, fostering of cultural institutions, and strengthening of cultural and creative industries. For example, if you see in India, cultural tourism is one of the fastest growing sector, and the other areas like the handicrafts and the museums. These all are also contributing for cultural development and providing some contribution for economic and environmental and social development. And it is also contributing for environmental sustainability, since the promotion of cultural and biological diversity and the natural heritage is crucial to sustainable development, while supporting traditional systems of environmental protection and resource management can contribute to the increased sustainability of fragile ecosystems and preservation and sustainable use of biodiversity, reducing land degradation and mitigating the effects of climate change. And these all are possible, and we have already experienced in the past in our cultures that whatever the activities that we are doing are environmental friendly, and that was promoting environmental sustainability. Culture also contributes to peace, security as a vulnerable resource for empowering communities to participate fully in a social and cultural life, facilitating inclusive governance and dialogue at the national, regional and international levels, and contributing to conflict prevention and resolution, as well as to reconciliation and recovery. For example, you can see in these pictures that tourism, especially the cultural tourism, is identified as one of the tools to the linking the cultures and make a dialogue between the different nations which are having the similar culture. And the best example is Silk Route tourism and Buddhist tourism in India. So these are the examples that we can cite. And with this we have understood that it's not simply sustainable development is not simply about economy, social development and environmental development. So with the understanding of all the importance of the culture in terms of nature, natural protection and economic sustainability, or maybe social development that is identified, culture is one of the key aspect, and with that recognition they have added culture as a fourth pillar or a fourth dimension of sustainable development in the year 2002. And UNESCO report on the power of culture for development mentioned that the culture in all its dimensions identified as a fundamental component of sustainable development. Culture as a sector of activity through different forms like build material and living heritage or creative industries and various forms of artistic expressions. Culture is a powerful contributor for socio-economic development and environmental protection as a respirator of our skills, knowledge, meaning and values that influence or infuse all aspects of our lives. Culture is a source of identity, recognition, innovation and creativity. So that means we can understand culture is one of the pillar that we should recognize, and it was recognized in the year 2002, and we should poster and we should follow all this principle in the future and implement for a cultural development, or in fact for the sustainable development. And culture consists of distinguished spiritual, religious and material, intellectual, emotional features of a community or a society or a social group. And culture is acquired and practiced through the process of cultivation and improvement of individual, especially by means of education. Culture is an evolving dynamic force for all societies at local and national and global level, influenced the world views and expressive forms. Culture is located in a time and a place, while culture is the abstract of or is a set of mental construction. It rooted in a place at a moment in a history and is always local. Culture is a renewable resource to some extent if it is carefully nurtured for it to grow and flower. When neglected, it is easily lost or destroyed. For that time, maybe in the future we can't have the cultures of knowledge and creativity, whatever we have discussed. And we have discussed the importance in general. Now we'll go through the importance or a contribution of culture for a development in a different aspects like economic development and social development and the environmental development. In most of the countries where culture is rich, especially in India where the culture is diversified and rich, so these places especially having more potential for their development, and culture is a powerful global economic engine for generating jobs and income, and in the year it has generated $1.3 trillion. The global cultural industry accounts for more than 7% of the global GDP. During the 1990s, the cultural industry grew at an annual rate twice that service industries and 4 times that of manufacturing in OECD countries, that is Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development countries. You can also see in India, culture is one of the largest industry, especially handicraft industry is one of the largest industry which is providing economic benefit and employment generation to different communities and the people who are involved in these activities. Cultural tourism is a 40% of global tourism revenue according to the United Nations World Tourism Organization's survey, and heritage, especially UNESCO World Heritage Sites, produce revenue from visits, sale of local crafts, and with performing arts of different products generating employment for communities. Culture is also identified as a tool for economic development, especially to provide traditional livelihood. Culturally embedded livelihood practices help retain local knowledge and generate employment while enabling local economic development. These may vary from building crops to agriculture and natural resource management, and opportunities for economic growth through micro enterprises. Cultural goods and services often need a low capital investment by building on a material and skill available within the community, and the success of microcredit enterprises that benefit women have been especially valuable, because if you go through the traditional industries, especially handicrafts, so which were the major industries and one of the top industries in India, and which was providing equal opportunity for both men and women. And even today this tradition is continuing, and if we continue for the future generation, there will be a lot of scope for the gender equality and employment generation even for the women, and continuity in a traditional livelihood and lifestyles. And culture in other form like a cultural infrastructure and institutions will also contribute for economic development. For example, in India we have different types of museums, cultural centers and handicrafts, and all these different forms of cultural industries or creative industries directly or indirectly contributing for the economic development of the country, since we have a diversified museums, arts, craft, all these things are contributing for revenue generation to the government, employment generation to the community, and continuing their traditions. So that is the one of the major advantage of cultural institutions and other cultural centers. The other advantage that the culture can also be identified as a social cohesion and stability, especially culture is symbolic for a particular heritage. Culture is a wellspring of hope, enabling a deep sense of belongingness and social cohesion through the cultural tourism. Like a cultural heritage not only generate income but also builds a social cohesion mobilizing communities around the care and management in that particular destination or a site. Cultural festivals will enhance the dialogue between the communities and the guest and the host of that particular tourist destination. So here you can see the pictures, like we have Angkor Wat temple in Cambodia, and we have a Buddhavanam, a cultural center. The other one, that is one of the largest Hindu temple in Indonesia, that is 19th century temple of Pramabana in central Java, and these are built by Indians, and this Angkor Wat and this Cambodian temple was built by the other temples built by the Indians. Whenever we go to these places, we feel that it is our property, our culture, our identity. That belongingness will come immediately when you go to these places. And people who are coming to India, which are having a cultural connections like a Buddhist or people from South and Southeast Asia, when they see the monuments and the culture, they also feel that the belongingness. And when we involve and interact with the different cultures in a different countries which are having the similarity, then we also feel something proud of our culture and our identity. It is also identified that women empowerment can be possible with a cultural development, and that can stabilize the communities and the economy, especially women empowerment like intercultural dialogue with its focus on the respect of a different rather than standardization empowers the woman by acknowledging the role as both value carries and value creator, and the women in a local culture carry the responsibility of interpreting the cultural forms, practice and their meaning, as well as transmitting them to the new generations. Women are also empowered by an acknowledgement of a difference and reinforcement of their identities, safeguarding the distinctive culture forms and the process of their production contributions to strengthening the social capital of a community and create sense of stewardship and public institutions. For example, if you go to a World Heritage Site Hampi, there is a village called Anegundi. It's a rural tourism site basically, and in this area the local communities were empowered with the cultural tourism development by providing some access for economic development, like providing some employment generation for making handicrafts with a banana fiber and selling those handicrafts to the tourists who are visiting. And they are also developing other women empowerment activities in those particular area with or using a culture as a tool. So this is one of the best example where we can see that cultural tourism is identified as one of the tool to empower the local women in that particular area. And when it comes to sustainability of environment, it is very much relevant that the culture that we had in India, the value and beliefs shape our relationship of people to their natural environment and the way they manage and impact it. Cultural values, local knowledge and traditional practice of environmental management can be valuable resource towards achieving the ecological sustainability. And culture and ecological diversity, that is biological cultural diversity, are intricately connected to wide range of interaction between the human and nature that are interdependent and mutually reinforced. For example, if you take in India, this is our culture where the humans or the people living with the nature was one of the oldest culture, oldest civilization that we had in the country, and we are always with the nature in a different forms, and we have our gods which symbolic for the nature and different animals which we are having with the communities and their surroundings, and they pray all the nature, and they have recognized that nature is one of the major component or the regular activity that where they are living. And it is also identified that if you go through our traditional farming system, which is having very much relevance to the modern or contemporary sustainable development, the traditional system of environmental management actually accumulated traditional knowledge and the community practices of environmental management are the fundamental to sustainability and essential for the survival of the place and people. Development approaches and programs have often failed to recognize the societies categorized as underdeveloped have in fact been living sustainably for generations in a specific local. The ecological challenge that we are facing, like a variety of current environmental challenges such as depleting water resources, shrinking forest cover and disappearing the different species, and rooted disregard for the environment may be addressed by a positive practices embedded in a local culture that value a balance between natural and human world. For example, if you take in India, so the eco-farming system or ecofeminism was one of the popular idea and concept that we practiced in the past, and with that eco farming system you can see that there was a huge productivity of the agriculture products, but now we are going for the all GM food, that is genetically modified food, and still we are not able to achieve whatever the required thing that we want. For example, whatever GM food you take, that nutritionally it is not that much productive when compared to the eco farming that we had in a different places, especially in like in nowadays you can see that. So it is well proved and scientifically shown that in Uttarakhand by Vandana Shiva that eco farming is one of the popular concept that was there in the past, and that can be applied in the present situation to overcome the environmental issues that we are facing now. And culture is also identified as a tool for resilient communities. So that means culture builds resilience by reinforcing the abilities of people to be innovative and creative, especially on the adversity of disaster, conflict and other issues that we are facing. And for example, schools, health center and housing built with the local material and knowledge and technologies that they used to overcome the climate change effects, or maybe a climatically effective of low cost and use of labor from the community, and they engendered the identity of acceptance and ownership rather than structure imported from outside the region. For example, if you take the northern India or any other rural places, like they are very much eco-friendly when it comes to the construction of building or their homes or public spaces, which they were using traditional knowledge and technology. And if you see the Uttarakhand or other northeastern or north states, like they used to use the wooden structures to overcome the temperature problem, and now it is completely concretized everywhere, and so that effects still we are facing when it comes to like olden days. So there were no technologies in those times, but still we continued and overcome all the issues that we are facing today. When it comes to tourism or a sustainable development of tourism is very much relevant with the cultural development, because tourism is dependent most of the time on the resources that which we are having, both natural and culture. And whatever the forms of tourism are there, nature and culture, basically about the culture and a particular destination or a region, the communities, their knowledge and their belief systems these are the products of the cultural tourism, and these are one of the key factors for contributions for a sustainable development of tourism, especially when it comes to having the respect of socio-cultural authenticity of a host communities. And conservation is also possible nowadays with the development of a cultural tourism of a particular monument or a particular communities or a music or a dance or art forms, that it's possible with the development of cultural tourism. And for this there are many agreements and conventions that was held, and there are different alliances for the cultural development. So there was a global alliance for a cultural diversity, so that is intended to create a partnership between private, public and civil society to strengthen the cultural industries for the development of the society and economy and environment. And with this, they have started different concepts like World Heritage or UNESCO World Heritage Sites is the best example, where they have initiated many programs for cultural development. And you take any World Heritage Site in India, of course we have more than 28 cultural heritage sites which are having a potential for a tourism development and heritage conservation, providing employment to the local community and fostering the culture and the history that which they have. And it also reflects the identity and belongingness of that particular place. So in India, with this diverse and rich potential World Heritage Site, there is a development socially and economically and environmentally also. So there are many alliances like UNESCO's World Heritage Site Alliance, and the other alliance that we have in India is Heritage Cities Network. So they are also working towards the promotion and conservation of the natural and cultural heritage, mainly in India. Especially they are working on heritage cities which are very potential for the development and having rich diversity. So with this they have contributed a lot of money for the development of activities, different programs in this World Heritage Site in India and many other parts of the world. And the other major initiative is that to achieve Millennium Development Goals, they have given some funding, that is MDG Achievement Fund or a Millennium Development Goals Achievement Fund. So that is with the name of a culture and development thematic window aimed to speed the progress of achieving the Millennium Development Goals. In the past, in the year 2000, they have decided, and now of course the new alliance that is Sustainable Development Goals, which are having a 17 goals that even the culture can provide to some extent to overcome these issues throughout the world. So we have discussed all these things like what is culture, what is the cultural heritage, and what is sustainable development, and what is the role of culture in a sustainable development in a different ways. So with this I would like to conclude or summarize that culture is an important factor in the process of socio-economic and environmental development. Socially, it provides different benefits to the communities and to the governments in a region or a particular country or for a particular person or individual. Economically, it provides various forms of cultural expression such as music, dance, literature, sports, theater activities. So all these are providing some economic activity to the practitioners and to the business people and to the country, and these contribute increasingly large amount of money to the economies of most of the countries where there is a rich cultural heritage. Moreover, employment can be generated through the restoration and preservation of a cultural heritage sites or monuments, both for education and tourism. And in this context, culture is identified as a major pillar or a dimension of sustainable development. So that is the fourth pillar of sustainable development. So with this, I would like to close this session and advising to go through the e-text and other web resources for more information on this particular module. Thank you.